in a world where everybody fights to do stuff. Welcome to Mosaics of Eastern Wonderland, episode 7. I don't know why I did
Yay!
that. Yeah. Seven.
Yeah, this is
We're
like
getting
the
close
first
to
time.
9. We're getting close to 9. Episode 9 must be a Chado no doujin, now that I think about it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea
Close.
actually.
So, my good friend. Wait, we haven't introduced ourselves. Shit. Fuck. We always forget. Who am I? Who are you? My name is
Kodo.
Jordan. Yes, and you're Kodo.
And we are
And
the
today-
hosts of this series.
Yeah.
In case it's your first time in the app following the podcast.
Yep. Hello.
Wow, there's dog
Yeah.
in your over there.
Yeah, there's a dog
It
right outside
keeps
my house.
barking.
Shit. Bad dog. Go
Okay,
away.
anyway,
Oh no.
so what are we talking
Yes.
about this episode?
We're gonna talk about a Toho doujin artist by the name of Chado. He does go by another alias. I don't
Tony
recall what
Fan.
it is. Tony Fan. Yes. We're gonna talk about 2 of his versus doujins today. Yes. 2
Wait,
of them.
beforehand, what does he mainly do? Actually, what does
From
he
what I-
mainly do? This is like the only work I read.
Damn dogs.
Yeah, I know I'm the one.
He
who
usually
picked
talk. He usually
I pick
talks.
it at random.
Damn dog noises. Shit. He usually He usually
I can hear you well.
Actually,
I
is
can
it a
hear
he-
you actually well.
a he or a she. I haven't really confirmed it. They, let's use they to be a bit ambiguous on the gender. They usually draw these kinds of more action oriented Toho doujins.
Oh, that's
Such
cool.
as usually it has Yuuka or Yukari in it.
Usually.
There are usually, but there are quite a few out there. There are outside of that. The Hungry Tiger has Show. Rigo versus the SDM has, of course, Rigo and the Scarlet Devil mention. There was Sakia versus Yomu, I think, or was it Yomu versus Sakia? I don't remember. Let me try to recall other things.
So you read all of them?
I read most of them, just in preparation
Oh.
for this, just to tell myself what the catalog Chado has in terms of the art that he's done, what they've done. Sorry, they've done. He has quite an extensive number actually, and I think they're still going. Although I don't know whether or not they're still sticking with the Toho series, because I have seen one where they drew girls and
Love
panzers.
Life. He did
Love
Love
Life?
Life as well.
I saw
Yeah,
a
Love
Girls
Life
and Panzer
Doujin.
one. So maybe either he's branching out or he's leaving the Toho series. Though that might not be the case because he has a newer. I have seen him with a newer one recently, with Kokoro and Raiko, but that might be a year back or 2. I don't know. The uploader might not have uploaded it at the same time that they published it, so that doujin might be a bit old. Who knows? But in any case, all you have to know about Chado is the fact that he does orient himself on the more action side of Toho.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I like actions, but for this one, not so much. But at least it's action.
You don't like anything by this point. I swear to God.
Yes, I have a reputation of not liking anything.
Just.
In case you don't know, that's happening even in Discord.
Oh, you and your
But-
non-likes.
Well, hold on. I like Yuuka versus Yukari the most among all of these.
Yuuka versus
I like-
Yukari.
I like that more so than Yuuka versus
Yeah.
Byakuren.
You like most of it. Yeah, it's fine.
Like Yuuka versus Byakuren. Okay, wait. Before I talk about what I like and doesn't like, what are those about? Yuuka versus Byakuren, Yuuka versus Yukari, and then Yuuka versus Byakuren.
Yuuka versus Yukari is basically just that. Yuuka versus Yukari. Boom.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, lots
that
of it.
really-
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a super simple story, but no, it's more than that. It's actually Yuuka and Yukari, and they fight. Oh my God! What? I didn't even.
Okay.
Yuuka. I'm sorry, that joke went a bit.
Okay, anyway, and then so Yuuka vs Yukari is only one chapter.
Wow.
It's only one chapter, and it has the longest page numbers out of all of them. But
How many
Yuuka
pages
vs
was it again?
Byakuren, there's 77 page
77 pages.
for Yuuka vs Yukari. But Yuuka vs Byakuren has 3 chapters.
Wow.
They made 3 chapters out of this. These 2 characters fight.
And all 3 of them are pretty sweet. Yeah.
Wow. I still prefer Yuuka vs Yukari.
I don't know.
Okay,
Yuuka
so
versus
but I
Yukari
do
is a bit-
admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do admit Yuuka vs Byakuren do have a lot more stuff going on.
Maybe it's because it's multiple parts.
Yeah, somehow Chado has to extend it to 3 parts, I guess.
I mean, I suppose it wouldn't make sense for it to be 3 parts based on the narrative. So, before we continue, we of course need to tell you guys what Yuuka versus Byakuren is about. There are 3 chapters.
It's just 2 girls fighting.
2 girls fighting. There are a bit of here's and there's. The first one is they meet. The second one is the big battle. The third one is the revenge, technically. And of course, everything
Is
is
there? I won't say like that. I feel like it's all like so. I feel like it's the first one is just like to bait the readers. Like, look, we're going to make multiple. We're going to make multiple parts of this series. The first one.
To bait
And then
the
the second
readers.
one
Isn't
is.
that isn't that a bit strong? Bait the readers.
I don't have the right word for it, but it's like tease. It's like tease that
It's a tease.
someone will win.
It's a
Yeah,
teaser.
it tease that someone will win in the battle. You know, the one on the face. Like one of
that
the
is
face is
tr-
more
that is true.
injured than the other. Okay, and the second and third one is one of the girls win. You know, I think it has one of the girl win. Like for the second part is Byakuren win, and the third one is Yuuka win.
Yes, and the third part is of course Yuka's revenge before Yuuka wins.
And then I look at my note here. I would say. So the first part is the clash of ideology, but it doesn't go anywhere. And the second one is just fight and question mark. And then the third one is Byakuren secretly admits that she enjoys the fight.
I suppose I wasn't really focusing on any sort of thematic notion to it. I was just focusing on whether or not I enjoyed it, whether or not the fight choreography was good, the character designs, just the art in general. Narrative-wise, I didn't really care much about the narrative, if only because of the fact that this was a more fighting.
You know,
oriented. Yes.
Okay, so since there's 3 parts for Yuuka vs Byakuren, I thought that there must be some story going on because there's 3 parts.
There technically is some sort of a story, but it's a bit hard to pinpoint.
There is, and then I don't think it's that good because, like, for instance,
I don't even think it was supposed to be good. It's just a excuse for battles. It's not there to be good.
Why did you touch from my experience?
It detaches from your experience because you were focusing on it. Because you thought there was something
but
there. There wasn't anything there.
But there's build up to the fight. I think there's a story. There's build up to the fight, especially in the final part. They have a long, like, you can't just talk with a lot of people. And a lot of the folks in the temple, and then they have a fight in the end.
Yeah, it was a good fight.
So I say, there's a story.
There is a story, but the story isn't really. It's not a fleshed out sort of thing. It is just based on the idea that Yuuka wants to fight Byakuren. Yuuka wants revenge. Yuuka will find a way to get the revenge. She has a reason
to fight. She has a reason to fight Byakuren, and okay, she has a reason to. Let's talk about the Yukari first. Yeah, she has a reason to fight Yukari, and it's a simple. It has a least story. I think it has least story out of.
It's the least story, yes.
All of them, but it's the one I like the most. And taking aside the art and the fight, I actually quite like the story in the Yuuka vs Yukari. So I think it's like they make Yukari kind of like Superman, because
Superman.
so Superman is like a very overpowered character, but he always how should I say? He's not on his full power all the time.
He's not using his power
because he's too nice.
He hides his full potential.
He's hiding his potential, and because he doesn't want to destroy everything in the process, because he's too powerful. But also he's also a generally very, very nice person.
Yes.
Even against like bad guys, he like believe in the good of people. And then
Yukari being nice. Oh, this is so strange.
I know Yukari isn't as nice as Superman, but she's in this doujin, she's basically hiding a power level, and she only like wings.
Isn't it only because she doesn't want to destroy Gensokyo with like just the sheer level of her power?
I thought it's because she cares about Ren very much.
There was a point where it does say she cares about Ren, but what stopped her from using her full power besides Ran? Because remember, in the very end, we do see, I guess, her using some of the aftermath.
She used
the aftermath. It's after the battle, like just the aftermath. And we see, like, if I remember correctly, it was from her and not from Yuuka. It might be from Yuuka actually, so I might be mistaken. But it's like a humongous, like, a huge swath of area just destroyed by just Yukari. Might be Yukari using just a bit of her full power, or maybe her full power in general. I may have to reread that because Yuuka versus Yukari was the one that I'm not the most familiar with. I didn't really remember it that well. Didn't she
just use an atomic bomb to just speed up Yuuka and Wing?
Did she use an atomic bomb?
Yes, she used an atomic bomb.
She summoned an atomic bomb, didn't she?
Yeah, because Yuuka just injured Ren and she got angry.
She got angry?
And then
summoned an atomic bomb.
Like originally Yuuka just say she give up. And Yukari just say she give up. And then Yukari was gonna kill her. And she would just let her do so. But then Ren just interfered. And then Yuuka just beat up Ren.
Yes.
And Yuuka was gonna kill Ren. And Yukari just say, no, stop, don't you fucking kill Ren. And then just beat up Yuuka. And use an atomic bomb.
With the power of the thing that destroyed Hiroshima. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh well.
He just summons it with a barrier.
And that's everyone's gonna ask whether shit one of their
Sorry?
And now some army in the world is just gonna ask, where the fuck is that one nuclear bomb we had? Oh my goodness, someone stole it. Oh baby. And suddenly it's gonna have this
Some spy stole it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I like to see that like this doujin, it's to show how powerful Yukari actually is.
I see.
And then she reminds me of she makes me compare her to Superman in terms of how they hide their powers.
That's how they
usually don't try to go on full power.
Yeah, because technically Superman could technically just destroy the Earth with his full power, right?
Yes.
Because I do remember I did hear that his punches were so strong they could literally break into different dimensions. If I recall, that might have been from a very old DC comic, or it might have just been.
I know the Hulk can do that, but I don't know whether
the Hulk can do that. Are you serious?
Yes.
What the fuck? Oh my goodness!
Somewhere in our university. I mean, both of us. This is my former university. Told me about it. The Hulk can do that. Hulk can do that.
That's pretty fucking good. Just like
and
that.
And then, okay. So aside from that, I also like the simple story. And then I used to not like the art because I find it very confusing. I cannot.
Yes, Chado's older action works have the flow of the battle is actually a bit confusing. Some things do not really stitch together.
I cannot tell what is happening in some.
You can't tell what is happening as well. Yes, which is a bit
this
sad.
A few of them.
Which is a bit sad, I guess.
And then, but after this, so initially it's like my least favorite art, like Yuuka vs Yukari. But right now it's my favorite art among all of this. I like it more than Yuuka vs Byakuren, which I think is just otherwise very. It's just digital drawing. It's just digital drawing for me. And then there is some really weird. I remember I saved some really weird drawings.
What?
I remember there's the final page. I remember the final page of the first part where she draws Yuuka and she looks really hilarious. She doesn't look like she looks like a character from a 4-Koma manga, but I'm actually reading an action.
No,
manga.
There are times when you can, of course, draw certain characters in a very comedic fashion.
That one is that
was that in like a serious moment?
Page. Yes, it's a very serious moment. It's the final page. It's the final page of the first part.
Then again, we could just assume it's just Chado's art style, because at the time Chado did have a rather unrefined art style. Like there's a lot of he could have had a lot of improvements. And
it doesn't happen. This doesn't happen in Yuuka vs Yukari, which is like 8-9 Comiket ago.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
So Yuuka vs Yukari is in Comiket 69, and then the first part of Yuuka vs Byakuren is in Koromu 5, which is like okay. So the Comiket 69 is 2005 December, and the first part is in Koromu 5 in 2009. I don't know why it's Koromu 5. I wrote this in my note. It's maybe something like Reitaisai.
It sounds like it. Maybe it can't be the Armo. They have like multiple Reitaisais though. But that shouldn't.
So Koromu 5, and then it's in October 2009, and then the second part is in Comiket 77. It's December of the same year, and then in the next Comiket is the third part. Yeah.
So it took quite a while for it to finish, but it came out really good.
Pretty fast because it's like in the next event that it's released, the next part.
Chado is actually pretty prolific in the stuff they create. They create like a lot. Like they actually have quite a very big selection of stuff to read from, because I don't really know why. Maybe they just like to draw. They just like to draw their favorite Tohos, or battling it out, or being in a pretty cool situation, because,
there's also one person who's also very prolific. I forgot the name again.
Zonose, Wodagaki,
Zonose.
There's a lot. Zonose is very prolific.
It's fucking prolific. There's so many. I was looking through e-hentai, and then everything I click randomly, like 5 out of 10 times it will be Zonose stuff.
I think just recently there were quite a few Dumbora uploads with more Zonose stuff, like lots more Zonose stuff. Like Jesus Christ!
Holy fuck!
Yes,
there's someone even more prolific than Zonose.
No, it's just Zonose stuff.
Oh, okay.
There might be a few that are more prolific, but I guess I just can't really think about them right now, which is a bit sad.
Okay.
That's it. But Chado is very prolific. Very prolific. I think almost the level of Zonose. I don't know whether or not he's prolific anymore, because I haven't seen anything recent from him. Could be. Who knows?
Oh boy, I forgot to download my... Wait, where's the page? I remember I have a few pages to reference.
You had a few pages to reference.
Yes. I mean, okay, so I don't like the Yuuka vs Byakuren's art style as much, and I think that's where she got matured. Like her art, his art got matured. I mean,
his art matured. His art does mature at Yuuka versus Byakuren. There is a noticeable increase in quality.
Yeah, it's very different from Yuuka versus Yukari.
I don't know. I like. It's not really a difference. It's not really a difference in art style. It's just an increase in quality in art style. It's more. But
I prefer the Yuuka versus Yukari.
I don't prefer it at all. I still think Yuuka versus Byakuren. I still think Yuuka versus Byakuren is one of his better drawn stuff. I like
it. Doesn't leave a impression on me.
Yuuka versus Byakuren. It left the impression on me, if only because of the fact that I read Yuuka versus Yukari first, and I didn't. Because of the fact that Yuuka versus Yukari was at the time very convoluted in terms of the style, the flow of the combat. It was very confusing. I've come to believe I had to reread it. I have to reread it a few times. I did not reread it a few times. There's plenty of nice imagery
in the Yuuka vs Yukari.
There's plenty of
nice image. Yeah, and then for Yuuka vs Byakuren, there isn't as much. And goddamn it, I cannot find it.
Are you sure there isn't as much? Then again, I suppose
I remember there is like the one where Murasa, there's the one Murasa pose in the second part, which I remember I saved it, but it's not here. God damn it. Yeah. And then there is that. I also remember I saved the really jank Yuuka space in the final page of the first part, which I say that it looks like something from 4 Koma when it's a very serious moment.
I mean, Chado's art style doesn't really change dramatically. I have to say it improves dramatically. Change is a bit of a strong word.
Oh yeah, I have to say. So Yuuka vs Yukari has some confusing moments, but for Yuuka vs Byakuren, there never was any confusing moment that I can think of. It's more clear.
It's more clear, if only because of the fact that everything clear. Is much
and
more
the
choreography is much better, yes.
Yeah, the choreography is more readable.
Yes. Choreography, the flow of the combat, the establishment of the area they're fighting in is clearer, but there are times when I do believe maybe
it's like one big empty lane for Yuuka vs.
It is usually it is very empty. The problem is even in the emptiness, everything is so confusing because Chado likes to draw a lot in like a single frame when it comes to certain points of battle. So it can get you can get lost just looking at it, because not lost in thought like, oh my god, this is so amazing. No, you just get lost. You don't know what you're looking at. There's so much shit on screen, quote unquote.
Yes,
it's actually a bit hard to follow it properly, which is a bit sad in and of itself. However, it's not me trying to bash his art style in general. It's just the choreography, the flow. That's something outside of art style. It's art direction, I guess. I guess it's best to call it art direction. His art direction wasn't very good back then. It's better now. Yuuka vs Byakuren has much noticeably better art direction. Art-wise, even Yuuka vs Yukari at the time, I thought the art style was pretty okay, pretty good. It's acceptable.
I want to say, have you read the foreword? Because in the Yuuka vs Yukari, I'll just go with him. I don't care anymore. He said that the art style for that doujin, he's just trying to experiment. He does it without inking.
I didn't read the foreword. The foreword was...
Yeah, he drew it without inking.
I see.
For Yuuka vs Yukari, yeah. He did it without inking. So it's like, kind of like pencil-ish drawing, and also that I like how the character looks. A lot better, at least a lot better than... I like how the character looks better than Yuuka vs Byakuren.
I see. Shit. I don't know.
Yeah. So I do like it more. And then he said that he's experimenting with a new style, and he did it without inking. And I don't know whether he has done it ever again, because these are the only works I have read from him so far.
If he did adopt a new art style for this doujin, that's actually pretty impressive, because this is a pretty good doujin in terms of just its art, I guess. As an experiment, as an experiment, that is pretty good. I like it. But of course, art direction and stuff is
well,
still...
he can improve on...
He can improve.
Yeah,
There's a lot of...
choreograph.
And
yeah.
he does improve.
He can improve on the choreograph.
He does improve. He does improve a lot as he goes on. However, judging by what you have said about Yuuka versus Byakuren, you don't really like the style of it. There's nothing...
Yeah, it changed so much.
It changes a lot, but I think it changes for the better. It's more clearer, it's cleaner. I think character proportions, of course, have always been okay.
I think it can be improved without
I don't know. I think it's stylistic. I think
it can be improved without changing the style.
No. I think this one is stylistically unique. The other one, Yuuka versus Yukari, is a bit... How should I say it? It has good art. The problem is, it is still a bit unrefined. You can really sharpen it
because
up.
It looks like a bunch of pencil drawings.
But there are certain points in time where...
I mean, because it's a bunch of pencil drawings.
It's not because it is a bunch of... It's not because it's a bunch of pencil drawings.
Okay.
It's more or less... I think it's more or less just my artistic preference. I'd rather like something more akin to Yuuka versus Byakuren, rather than the more...
So you prefer digital drawings?
I don't know whether it's digital drawings or something
it's very much digital drawings.
Or something to do with the style of just like how he draws the faces and stuff. From what I can understand, maybe because he was experimenting with it, with Yuuka versus Yukari, he didn't really take too much time, like, I guess, improving on everything. So there may have been certain flaws that he just excused, which may be why I didn't really like it as much. It is still artistically very nice, but there are certain things about it that, yes, as we said before, can have improvements. Some of the facial expressions are a bit off. And I can't really excuse it for style. I don't. There are certain things about it. It is very dynamic though. It is very expressive. The problem is, there's also a bit of jank to it. There's something off. Like, is this to say, can you, like, move the eyes here? Move the lips there a bit more? Maybe to make it look a bit better? You can excuse it, of course. I excused it all the way. It was very much just fine. I was okay with Yuuka versus Yukari, so I excused most of it, but I will come to believe some people may be a bit confused as to why it doesn't really look right in certain places. Yuuka versus Byakuren, I don't really recall any moments where I thought it was a bit janky. There was something wrong with it. So I could just say that maybe he also improved on that area when it came to Yuuka versus Byakuren. Anything else from you?
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, here's by the way, here's the picture for that jank Yuuka's face.
That jank Yuuka.
And yeah.
Jank.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, for the Yuuka vs Yukari, the only part that is undecipherable for me is the fight choreograph, which is some of them are just really plain confusing. But otherwise, when they are not fighting, when you just characters talking, I think they are all drawn very well.
Yes.
So yeah, so otherwise, and then the face, I think they are all done. They are all drawn pretty fine.
I see.
So yeah, in his back in his Yuuka vs Yukari style. So yeah, the only problem I have is his fights, which is sometimes they are confusing. And then, but otherwise, I like it. I like the style. I like it how it's all like just pencils, and then they make how, and then like with this art style, he makes some of the drawings like some very nice imagery, and then it also fits some of the explosion effects. And some of the explosion effects, it looks pretty cool, indeed.
Mm-hmm. He does have a lot of what I would call money shots. Money shots being the big like scenes that sell either a movie, a TV show, or maybe a comic book or something like that. A visual medium. He likes to draw a lot of these big like, you know, as I said before, shots. These big scenes. And in most of his work, that's what happens. There's a lot of the scenes that are very big, very dynamic. They're very interesting angles. There's a lot of stuff happening on the screen, or there's a lot of focus in terms of like on screen, something like that. I'm not really sure what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he moves on to Yuuka vs. Byakuren, and then it's all digital drawings, and then what I like in Yuuka vs. Yukari is gone.
Oh, wow.
And there's no okay. So this, I remember there is still some explosions, but it's not, the effect is not the same anymore. Like,
what do you mean by that? You mean is it not pronounced enough, or is there just something about it?
It's different. It doesn't, like, he doesn't have the imagery. He doesn't have the imagery he draws. Like this one, damn it. Like this. So I'm telling you right now. Like this one he has.
Yes.
It's not this page is not in, this kind of imagery is not in Yuuka vs. Byakuren. Or the explosions he draws, it's not the same thing. It's not drawn like that in Yuuka vs. Byakuren. It's like, well, a lot of things happens.
I don't know. I do recall there was something like this. There were a few very good money shots in Yuuka vs. Byakuren. Like maybe in Yuuka,
but it's not as memorable.
It's not, that is a bit, how should I say, subjective. This is a very memorable shot. The problem is, I do still remember some stuff from Yuuka vs. Byakuren.
I don't remember any shots from Yuuka vs. Byakuren. Aside from this one, which is, I think, is just very regular attack, like the one where Murasa tries to attack Yuuka. Yeah. And then
this one still sells a lot. This one still at least sells a lot of the impact, and it is much. Of course,
yeah, I do like
it. It is much.
I do like it.
It is much clearer.
I do like it.
You do like it, yes.
Like look at this Byakuren's one, and I think it doesn't leave as much impact from me compared to the ones in Yuuka vs. Yukari.
And why would that be the case? Is there something to do with the art style? Is there something to do with how it is framed? Is there something to do with how big the panel is?
So I think the explosions, like, I think the...
Yes.
So, with his art style back in Yuuka vs. Yukari, he made the drawings, like... Yeah, it's very fast and chaotic, and then... It's very fast and chaotic. It makes... Oh... Okay.
It's fast and chaotic, but isn't Yuuka vs. Byakuren also supposed to be fast and chaotic? There are a lot of shots with a lot of bullets everywhere, a lot of lasers.
God, it's so hard to fucking articulate it.
I mean, I suppose
I say benefits from, like, what happens in the fights in Yuuka vs. Yukari. The benefits from the pencil drawings.
It benefits from I think it benefits from the pencil drawing, if only because of the fact that it simulates a sort of a as we said before, the art style is good, but it's not always very clear. We could assume that simulates a certain rawness to it, a certain chaos to the idea, because nothing has been inked, nothing has been, has been corrected, nothing has been set in stone in a sense. So there's a lot of, it's a blur almost. It's like you're looking at a blur. It's very quick, very fast.
I still think it can be improved. Like if it improve on how the choreograph looks, then it will be perfect. But it doesn't. So it's just the problem. Like he sells it very well on how chaotic it looks and how fast it looks, and then it gives like the whole, and then the drawing also gives a tone to a series, gives a certain tone to that story, and then so I say it helps a lot. I say the art style helps a lot to the tone of the story and to the actions, and to the fights and to the explosions. And then, but for Yuuka vs. Byakuren, its art style is like, well, to me,
Yuuka vs. Byakuren's art
fights
style
and actions and then explosions.
Yuuka vs. Byakuren's art style is more in line, actually, with the more standard animated look, especially because of the fact that it is inked.
Digital drawing.
It is
digital
inked,
manga drawing.
It is a digital drawing. So in that case, I suppose it gives this sense, this mood, this tone, this atmosphere. It's more clean. There's not enough chaos to it, to the visual itself. We could simulate chaos when it comes to like digital drawings. We could draw a lot of these action lines and stuff, a lot of these explosion lines, the contrast between black and white. But I suppose we do lose something when we move from this kind of crazy action from pencil to digital art. In pencil, it may be a bit unclear. It's a bit hard to see anything, but it simulates the chaos to it.
Okay, hold on. Pause first. You can still draw chaotic things. You can still draw chaotic lines and actions without making the choreograph confusing.
There is I suppose we could call that controlled chaos. Understanding what to put into the art and what not to put into the art. How do you angle, and also how you angle the shot itself? Where are you taking it from? Does it follow a proper, proper line of sight? I think that's how you say it. There's a word in it. For some reason, I'm not really thinking of good words to use this podcast. So I suppose there are times where I may be where I may stutter a bit, or where I may pause. I must apologize for that. There's a word for it. Something to do with consistent. Yes, it doesn't have a consistent line of sight. Are you moving your camera?
What do you mean by consistent line? What do you mean by consistent line of sight?
I do a bit of filmmaking. I have taken a few film courses.
Okay.
There is a way of shooting film, where if you shoot your films in a certain way, like if you angle it in a certain way, or at least angle it in a certain way compared to the last shot's angle, it becomes a bit confusing to see. I don't remember. I think it was called the 180 rule or something like that. I don't recall how it works though.
180 rule isn't that in general film?
In general film, you
screening.
Screen.
In general film writing. I heard about the 180 rule, but I don't think that has anything to do with action choreograph.
It technically can't.
Screenwriting.
No, it is still on screenwriting. However, if you do not, there are points in time where they talk about if you don't follow it, it could get a bit confusing or something like that. So we could assume action has something like a sort of a 180-degree rule, but maybe it's a lot more complex because action is more. There's more as is the name. There is more action. There's more movement. There is more movement of the body, movement around the environment. There's movement up, movement down, left, right, forward, back, side, to the sides and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways you can.
There's
a lot of ways you can, I guess, experiment with how you
think...
unquote film it.
Okay, so my turn.
Yes.
I want to say, I think comparing the action scenes in comics to action scenes in film is two different things.
I don't think so, because it still takes into account transitioning one scene to another scene. How did this part get to here? In film, it's much easier to do because of the fact that you, of course, see the action. You see every step of the movement. You see every frame. In comics, though, you see only one frame. And then they go from here to there. They go from there to up there. They go from here, up there, to down here. But now we have a different angle of the shot. So when it comes to like the comics, unlike movies, you have to fill in the scenes yourself. Do you get what I mean?
You mean in movies you have to fill in the
scenes
yourself?
No. In the comics, you have to fill in the scenes yourself. In movies, the scene is usually filled in for you. In manga, however, in Chado's manga, for example, we have this frame, and then this frame goes to that frame. How would you... Of course, you have to transition from this frame to that frame as you read, but you have to fill in the blanks as to how this action transitions into this action. That's what I mean. And so in Yuuka versus Yukari, there are certain actions that are transitioned very awkwardly, so it's a bit hard to follow. That's why.
Ooh, I see. I thought it's just because that he just like... Okay, if I want to describe it, so why it's confusing for the choreograph in the Yuuka vs Yukari is like a child put paper on blank paper and he take a pencil and he just scribbles.
As you said before, Yuuka versus Yukari, he was basically experimenting, right? So I suppose it could be a very apt description to say that he was just putting a pencil on the paper and just drawing. And then
I won't say draw. I would say scribble.
Scribble.
And that's what makes the confusing part confusing. It's like Chado just take a blank paper and he just scribbles, and that's what makes it confusing. Mm-hmm. So I won't say it's because of the perspective, the transition of the perspective.
Transition of the perspective.
The transition between the, like I say, like the transitions between the angles.
Ah, I see.
I don't think it's that problems.
I don't know. It was a problem for me. There is also the fact that some of his stuff is very unclear because of the pencil stuff. That was your point. However, if we add that with the transitioning of the scenes, there are certain points where it can get very confusing to look at.
If you add, sorry, what? If you can add what?
For fuck's sake, if you add the problem of the penciling, the fact that the penciling is very raw, it is very flawed. There's no correction to it. If you add that to certain parts of Yuuka versus Yukari, where the transitioning between frames is very hard to follow or visualize, if you add those two together, then of course there's going to be a lot of problems. And in Yuuka versus Yukari, you can see that quite a few times, in my opinion, if memory serves me well. There are a few times where both the art style and the transitioning of frames makes for a very confusing read. It's a bit hard to follow, so that's why I just skimmed through most of the time, because it's a bit hard for me to understand what's happening. Yuuka versus Byakuren technically doesn't have much of it, if only because of the fact that how should I say it? Of course, it's much cleaner. It's digital art, much cleaner. You can see things for once. But I suppose suppose there are times when there's a bit too much detail. There's a bit too much clutter on the screen, so it's a bit hard for you to really see much of things. But I have to say, it's generally much cleaner than Yuuka versus
Yeah,
Yukari.
it's much cleaner. I agree. It's a lot cleaner, but it's a lot cleaner, and you can read what happens. But it's just, to me, it's just like, well, look, here's the action scenes. Here are the action scenes. It's not as memorable for me.
I don't know. I suppose I can concur with that idea that for you, it's just an action scene. For me, it was pretty cool. Of course, it's an action scene. And I don't really know how to, go against that. I just like reading what Chado has.
Well, okay. So, what other things do you have to talk about after we talk about our preference for the art style?
I'm trying to think of stuff. The only thing I can really think about is, I suppose I do have a bit of a history with Chado stuff, just a bit, very small amount. The one I remember most fondly was one of his more action doujins, Hungry Tiger, which features Sho.
Wait, isn't Hungry Tiger the one by Yakumi Sarai?
This one is literally the same name. Hungry Tiger, legit. There are 2 Hungry Tiger doujins out there. One by Zonose, and the other by Chado. And they both actually tackle things a bit differently. However, the both of them still have Sho technically eating someone.
Also an action.
It is technically, yeah, pretty much action manga. Yes, but it's a very cool action manga. Cause Sho beats Flandre. Yeah, amazing. How crazy is that? Wow. And she beats her in a very cool way as well. One of the biggest money shots, I think, of Chado's more action-packed.
Beforehand,
yes.
I want to ask. You don't really care about the stories in Yuuka vs Yukari and Yuuka vs Byakuren?
Not really, only because of the fact that the focus of the entire thing is based on the battle. The narrative is, I guess, a filler. It's filler. However, it is. I don't think
it's a filler when they actively try to talk about it in between fights. Like, I feel very intrusive in Yuuka vs Byakuren. For Yuuka vs Yukari, I think I don't recall anything intrusive with their dialogue. I think they have fights. I don't recall they have a lot of fucking talking in between fights. But in Yuuka vs, I would say if I want to say, Yuuka vs Byakuren fight, it's the worst part of. It's the worst thing I hate about. It's the thing I dislike the most about shonen fights. They have to talk. They talk about the ideologies. You can't just criticize Byakuren's ideals during the fight, and that's what a lot of shonens they like to do. And yeah, it also detracts me from the fight further. I do it in all 3 parts. And in Yuuka vs Yukari, they do talk during fights, but there isn't as much. I don't recall they do have talk, but they don't really go to the point talking about their ideals, calling each other's ideals sucks and things.
In that case, isn't this just your preference against shonen manga then? Because I think the audience does know. You don't like shonen as much. Yeah. You don't like shonen. I am personally fine with shonen. I actually like shonen. I've read quite a few shonen mangas in my days. I still follow One Piece. I haven't finished Naruto, nor have I finished Bleach, because I couldn't get myself to. It got a bit boring. But the shonen stuff was still fine for me. I read Toriko. I think Toriko is a shonen, right? It's considered a shonen. It is. Toriko is considered a shonen. What other shonens are there? Shit. Nothing in my head right now. Fuck. Shit. For some reason, I can't remember any other
What was that gang?
What?
That thing, Fire Force And then Fire Force, the previous work.
Yes.
Pretty shonen.
Yes.
Soul Eater.
Soul Eater was a great
Okay.
shonen. Fire Force I read for quite a while before I stopped because I guess I just got lazy following the updates. I get lazy following updates every once in a while. I don't know whether or not the work on.
Okay, I do say it's my preference.
It is a preference thing.
It's my preference.
For me, I found it. For me, it was fine. I thought it did make a lot of sense when it came to.
For me, tracks.
I don't know. It made a lot of sense for me. If only because of the fact that by this point it seems to make a lot of sense. If you were to have a fighting Byakuren, you of course have to have a point in time when someone has to question her ideals, especially if she's fighting based on her ideals, I guess. So of course there's going to be a bit of talking.
And I also say I don't think it goes anywhere on this story.
I don't think it was actually
just criticized.
I don't think it was supposed to.
Well, so when you bring up the question and you don't answer it, you bring up the question and you don't answer it in the story. That is strange.
I don't know. I will come to believe.
I thought in writing, if you bring up something, you have to resolve it in a story.
Technically,
you have to resolve it.
I don't know. The only thing I think the more important thing is the resolving of the battles itself, not the resolving of the philosophy or the resolving of the.
Well, but then you leave something unanswered.
And isn't it fine to leave something
left
unanswered?
To be up for interpretation. It's not like it's left to be up for interpretations. For readers to interpret. It's not set up that way. It's just ask the questions and then forget about it. They forget about it.
I suppose there is a bit of truth in that. The idea that maybe Chado wanted to do something. I guess maybe he could have done something very big with the notion that he was trying to set up between Yuuka and Byakuren. However, he didn't really do anything with it, which now that you pointed out is a very strange narrative decision.
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah.
Yes.
In part 3, Byakuren, she said that it's like a monologue. She said that she enjoys fighting. She actually enjoys fighting Yuuka in her monologue. That is cool. There's something cool. I think it's supposed to build up.
I suppose it is a build up.
This is the third time they have been fighting.
It does.
She says that
there is a sense of character development, I guess, if you think about it that way.
Yes, I'll say that. For Byakuren, she says that all the other characters, all the characters either too strong or they're too weak, and then something she just enjoys fighting Yuuka. Yeah, but it's not that. Yeah, we do see a
glimpse. We do see a glimpse of a narrative somewhere there. The problem is, I suppose, the both of us weren't really. I suppose if we gave if we gave it a bit more time, we might see something much more than what we are seeing right now. Because for right now, we might.
I do read it 3 times.
We have read it 3 times, but I feel like if there was someone to discuss it more, I think if we knew, if we knew the characters more, if we understood their canon, lore, their canon personalities. And we try to reason with it with Chado stuff. It might make more sense because I have a few Toho-centric friends who do technically discuss certain doujins with the mindset of how it reflects a character's canon lore stuff, which sometimes does open up to more details, better discussion, better analysis, basically. Which I suppose I'm just wondering, just theoretically, if we could do that, maybe we could find something more with Yuuka versus Yukari or versus Yukari, or Yuuka versus Byakuren. Who knows? I'm just playing theories here.
Well, I I don't think to say. I'm looking through the manga and I was thinking, how should I react to this?
How does one react to it?
Like, I think...
Because most of the time...
I've never seen this side of Byakuren. Let's say, I've never seen this side of Byakuren.
It's the cool side.
The whole canon. Like, that part... Like,
because
part
nothing is... Because if you think about it...
How she enjoys Yuka's fight.
Because if you think about it... Byakuren isn't really featured that much, actually, in Toga. She does appear in the fighting games, so we can assume, yeah, she's okay with fighting if she has to. But when it comes to, like, even deeper stuff, like things about her actual teachings, how she thinks about fighting, actually...
Okay, that's in the canon.
Desires
that's in the canon that, like, that's... I think it's the symposium of post-mysticism. You know, the one where Akio interviews the three characters, the Kanako, Byakuren, and Miko. Yeah. In that book, I heard that everyone else just call Byakuren a hypocrite. They think her ideology is like... It's like very hypocrisy, and then they just call out on her in the interview. And then in this one, Yuka did the same thing. She also just calls out on Byakuren's ideology, like in the second part, and then he just calls out on it, and then it doesn't go anywhere.
Doesn't go anywhere. I suppose.
Again, it doesn't go anywhere.
If it did go anywhere, what would happen then?
Yeah, if it did go
anywhere, would the fucking doujin just be longer? Would it have more parts? And would Chado have to...
Maybe it would be more interesting.
I don't fucking know whether or not it would be more interesting, or whether or not it would just be more filler and fluff.
Maybe it would be more interesting. For you, it's a filler, but for me, it feels like there's a narrative
it could be more interesting. There is
a
more
narrative satisfaction.
For now, it's just a battle manga satisfaction. But it's not a narrative satisfaction. The narrative satisfaction might be in Chado's.
The narrative satisfaction, Yuka vs Yukari has a narrative satisfaction, but not Yuka vs Byakuren. Yuka vs Yukari is a complete story.
Then again, who would ever think of having Yuka fight Byakuren?
Have Yuka fight Byakuren? Well, she has a reason to fight Byakuren.
No, who would think of doing that? Chado would think of doing that.
Chado
would.
I mean, Yukari is...
But what would be the unique... what would be the unique narrative between the two? Just because... Is it just Yokai and Yokai Savior? Yuka vs Yukari has a bit more into it.
Okay, Do you know why Yuka wanna fight Byakuren? Do you know why Yuka hates Byakuren?
I don't recall for some reason. I read the first part. I don't recall. I don't know why. Shit.
Yeah, so Yuka just doesn't like Byakuren.
Oh yeah, Byakuren did try to help her though in the beginning.
I think Byakuren wants to help her.
But she was like, "What the fuck? I have pride."
Yeah.
Bam! Punch.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of fight. Boom, blam.
And then he just calls out on her ideal. I just calls out on that. What you're trying to help? You're trying to help yokai and like bring peace. Like that's bullshit.
It's bullshit. You see those yokai over there that you save? Oh, I don't call them yokai. They domesticated or some shit like that, if I remember correctly.
And then Yuka is like portrayed by Chado. Okay, Chado portrayed Yuka as an arrogant person. Like she's also very arrogant in Yuka.
Arrogant and very powerful. A lot. He's all about. Oh, I'm the most powerful. Oh baby.
She just wants to be the strongest, like a shonen protagonist. She wants to be the strongest.
She wants to be the very best. Like, no, whatever. No, we're not going there. No. Yuuka, oh my god, that reminds me of that Yuuka and Pokemon doujin. Fuck, I gotta go look for... There is a Yuuka Pokemon series, but I think it stopped though, which is pretty sad. It went on for like quite a while. It's pretty cute. Yuuka had I don't remember how many chapters there were, but I remember Yuuka has a Bulbasaur, and that was the cutest part. Yuuka has a Bulbasaur. And for some reason, I think it focuses on Yuuka for most of it.
It focuses on
focuses on Yuuka and her Bulbasaur. But most of the other characters do it.
Yuuka is the main character.
Yuuka is the main character for the... Yeah.
I guess? Yeah.
Yuuka. It's guess! It's guess! Not guess!
I know.
Oh no, I broke my ruler by a bit.
Oh,
There's like a little part of it chipped off on the edge. It's like a very small part. It's like what? Less than a centimeter actually.
Okay, we have talked about the art and we talked about the story. And then what can we talk about again?
I don't know what else we can talk about. Can we talk about Chado? No, we can't really talk about Chado. We don't really know who Chado is. We've never met him in real life.
You want to talk about... No.
You have met him in real life.
Anything about Chado. I have not met him in real life.
Of course not.
But I don't know about Chado's work. But you know about Chado's work.
Draco versus the SDM is pretty okay. Lots of giant bugs and killing giant bugs. Ooh, scary.
I think we can just end here.
Can we end it here? Do you want us to end it here, audience? Oh wait, I can't hear them. I'm sorry. Oh well. Let's end it here.
Hold on first. We go to the conclusions. So, I like Yuuka vs Yukari, but not like Yuuka vs Byakuren as much.
I like both of them, but I prefer Yuuka versus Byakuren. Yuuka versus Byak.
Yeah. And then, who close the shows?
Who is gonna close the show? You or me? Me, okay.
Fine, you close the show.
So guys, that was episode Sturban of Mosaics of Easter Wonderland. It's 9:54 p.m. I want to go to sleep. I'm dead of sleep deprivation. I've been sleeping at 12 for quite a while, if only because of my Discord group. But who cares? I'm gonna sleep early so I won't get a headache, because I've been getting headaches recently, and I think it's because of my lack of sleep. Ooh,
Do you have a headache?
No, I don't have a headache right now. I had a headache in the morning for some reason when I just woke up. It was a remnant from yesterday, but it went away very quickly. So I guess I'm fine. In any case, thank you, motherfuckers, for listening to episode Sturban of Mosaics of Eastern Wonderland. See ya.
Goodbye.
Wouldn't wanna be ya.